Hey guys, it's Ms. Hargreaves again. We're going to go ahead and go through the Central Idea and Informational Text quiz as well. So first you'll go in and you'll listen to and read the short story about Thomas Edison, a failed inventor, paying very close attention to each paragraph and referring back to it when you get to your questions. Make sure that you're clicking on your microphone each time and having it read to you. Click Next. What is the topic of this passage? If you want to go back in the passage, you click the book right here. You also click each microphone to have the answer choices read out loud. Is this about the real inventor of the light bulb? I don't think so. Is it about all the inventions of Thomas Edison? It did talk about some of his inventions, so I would leave that one in for now. Famous inventors who failed, they did talk a little bit about failure, but not all of the inventors. Or a failed invention of Thomas Edison. I think that one's going to be my best choice because they talk about mostly Thomas Edison and the invention that he had that actually failed. Click Next. So what is the central idea? What are they mostly trying to teach us here? That he changed the world with his inventions, such as the first motion picture? That might have happened, but is that what it was mostly about? Even though one of his inventions failed, he never stopped trying out new ideas. Or are they trying to tell us that he might have failed at one thing, but he kept trying? That the vocal engine was meant to use sound waves from the human voice to produce energy? That might be true, but is that what this passage was mostly about? Or he was credited with inventing the light bulb, but he just made it more practical. Was that what it was mostly about? No. We want to choose that even though his inventions failed, he never stopped trying out new ideas, because that's what they mostly talked about. Doesn't mean they didn't talk about the other things, but we're choosing the one they really focused on. So we chose the central idea of even though one of his inventions failed, he never stopped trying out new ideas. And we want to know which of these backs that up. Is him being known as the Wizard of Menlo Park back that up? Not really. One little known invention of his was a vocal engine. Was that something that he kept trying out, a new idea that maybe not everybody heard of? Maybe. Let's leave that one in. The phonograph and first motion picture were two of his famous inventions. Okay, they were, but does that have to do with his failure in trying out new ideas? Or that some of the most famous inventors failed at some point in their lives? That might be true. We know that it takes failure and learning from our mistakes to end up, learning and doing more in the future. But what is the best answer for this one? That one little known invention was the vocal engine, because he kept trying out new ideas, even though they might not be as famous or he might have failed. And I don't know why my video cuts out at that point. I'm going to try to figure that out, but it still records me, so you can still hear my voice. So we're looking for the one now that does not support the central idea of failing at some of his inventions, but keep trying. That he created a version of the light bulb that was affordable and long-lasting. Well, that doesn't really support our central idea. The vocal engine had a few fatal flaws. Ooh, flaws and failure. That does support my main idea. Sound waves are not powerful enough to make the vocal engine useful. Not being useful would be kind of a failure. So that would kind of go with our central idea we picked. The vocal engine was a cumbersome device for the user. Cumbersome meaning kind of difficult or frustrating and hard to use. So that kind of goes with our failure as well. The only one that doesn't go with him failing and trying new ideas was his light bulb that was affordable and long lasting. Remember, that's one of the tricky ones where it's asking you to find the one that does not match. The next story talks about potato chips and an accidental invention. So you'll click on each microphone to listen to that read aloud to you. ask you, what is the topic for this passage? You can click back on the passage if you need to. Is it mostly the popularity of potato chips, the day in the life of a chef, how chefs create new dishes, or the invention of potato chips? Well, I know they accidentally invented potato chips in that passage, so I'm going to click the invention of potato chips. Oh, what is the central idea of this passage? That they're the most popular snack food in the world? Might be true, but is that what this passage is mostly about? New ideas or inventions are not always planned. Well, this was accidentally discovered, the potato chip, so I like that one. New ideas or inventions might lead to wealth and fame. That might be true, but that's not what our passage is mostly about. Or potato chips didn't become popular until many years after they were invented. Maybe true, but not the main part of our passage. So we're going to choose new ideas or inventions are not always planned. Which one supports our central idea that the new ideas or inventions are not always planned? Potato chips, a very popular snack food, were created by accidents. Well, accidents aren't planned, so I like that one. He worked at a resort in Saratoga, New York. That doesn't have anything to do with it. True, but not to our central idea. The mechanical peeler was invented in the 1920s. True, but doesn't have to do with my central idea. Or that George Crumb called his new invention Saratoga chips. Again, true, but doesn't support our central idea. Now again, we're looking for the one that does not support the central idea. So 3 will, we want the one that doesn't. He named them after a city in Saratoga. True, does that support them being planned or not? Not really, so let's leave that one in. The restaurant customer loved the new food that he had created. The fact that it's new food created goes with new ideas. Crumb made the potatoes so thin and crispy that no one can eat them with a fork. That one is, I think, good because that's a new idea, right? They never made them so thin and crispy before, and he was doing that on purpose so that the guy couldn't eat them with a fork and accidentally made this really great new food that we all love. Or he knew he was onto something when his customer was satisfied. He figured out that this could be a good idea, that this could be something people liked because the customer was happy. So only one doesn't go with this being planned, and that's how he named it. And then you're all done. Send me an email or you can call me on Google Voice or send me a text if you have any other questions. Bye, guys.